A spirit saved my life. Posted by u/artificial Batman. I was leaving class at 7 p.m. in the evening. Feeling very tired than usual. I had only about 2 hours of sleep that night, staying up studying and doing homework. As I was driving back home on the freeway, I began to swerve and feel myself getting tired, slowly falling asleep. I tried keeping myself awake by singing in the car. But that didn't help. A few minutes later I began to doze off again and fell asleep on the wheels. All of a sudden I heard a loud excruciating scream from a woman, as if she was screaming to make me go deaf. This scream still haunts me to this day. I snapped out of my sleep and looked behind me, did not see anyone. No vehicles around either. At this point, I feel completely awake and aware. I looked over to my right and noticed there was a cemetery as I drove by. Whatever that was, whatever just happened, it saved my life. 911 call from eternity. Posted by u/Dalvin003. Around 2009, me and another fellow were working the graveyard shift at the VA hospital in Topeka as VA police. At approximately 11 p.m. we got a call from Topeka PD Dispatch. DPD Dispatch said that they received a 911 call from a house in the VA's government housing area. The house they said the call came from had been empty for several years. Myself and my partner went to the house in question and checked every room. No one was in the house and it was empty. I contacted DPD Dispatch, informed them we had cleared the house, and verified that the 911 call had come from a phone in the house. The interesting aspect of the situation is that a young man, who was the son of the VA's chief of surgery, had died in the basement of the house around 1989. I know because I had been dispatched to house and had observed his contorted limbs in an advanced state of rigor mortis, lying in his bed. He had obviously died in his sleep. Maybe he woke up in 2009, and his spirit found itself in the basement of that empty house, and in a panic called 911. Who knows? Ghost criminal. Posted by u/Doc Ellswick. This happened while I was in a juvenile jail. I only got out 6 months ago. When I got to the facility they did my intake. Asked me my name, court case, charges, etc. They sent me to my cell until medical came and tested me so I can go out into general population. I spent a few hours in my cell until medical came to get me. Once they got me, they took me to the medical room where they gave me my TB shot, tested me for STDs, and asked for my medications. Once I got into Gen Pop they asked me my charges. Anyone who's been to any facility should know. Then we went to the mess hall. We ate our dinner and went back to the day room. After a few hours it was 10 o'clock and they called lights out. This is where it gets interesting. I stayed up most of the night in my cell working out. Occasionally drinking water out the sink so I didn't dehydrate myself. COs came and did checks per usual 15 minutes. I heard the door open, footsteps, the beeping of the pipe checking the doors, then they walked out. I was doing push-ups by my door when I saw a shadow moving back and forth. I thought it was the guard doing checks early, but when I got up and looked out my cell door I saw a kid about 17 hanging from the top tier. The rope was so long his feet was only 3 feet from the ground. I pressed the button in my cell and told them a kid killed himself, but they said no one has killed themselves in 6 years. They told me to go to bed. I listened, not wanting to piss them off on the first night. I woke up the next day and asked some of the inmates if they've seen the kid. They said they did and that it was a ghost. They said it happens almost every night at 3 a.m. I spent a year and a half there. Almost every night the kid was there hanging, eyes dead, swinging back and forth. Something really weird happened. Posted by u/Jadon 2019. It was about a week or two ago now. It's not anything I saw personally either, however it's what our son saw. Our son is 5 and has never really been as scared or made up stories about anything. If anything, he knows lying is bad and knows to tell the truth. However, the other day what happened to him genuinely freaked the fuck out of me. I'll explain a little and I'd love to get your thoughts too. It will all make sense, so please read Lowell. Over a year ago we moved home into a property close to my own parents. It was great at our first proper house together, but something just wasn't right. I always get the feeling someone is watching me, especially in the kitchen. There are sometimes noises that I can't really explain, and roughly 2 weeks into living here we hear footsteps going down the stairs at like 11 p.m. at night when everyone is asleep in bed. The cupboard in our old bedroom, it's now the kids' room cause it's massive, was always one to freak us out too. Plenty of times our daughter will wake up and scream and cry just staring at the cupboard until it's shut. My girlfriend used to tell me she sees a shadow creature come out and go into there in the middle of the night. If I'm honest, I'm always skeptical about shit like this. Footsteps could have been our son, shadow creature could be your eyes playing tricks on you in the night, but something in this house just doesn't feel right. Now to the part what brought me to comment this post. We were upstairs, Me, my girlfriend and we were bathing our daughter. Our son regularly carries on finishing off his food before joining us upstairs. Anyway, everything is normal, but then our son starts to scream, like physically scream loud as shit, and started to run. He runs up the stairs quicker than I've ever saw him run before, mouth full of food, just crying his eyes out in hysterics. I asked him what's happened and he told me he saw a fucking arm come from by the sofa. A fucking arm. He described it as a blackie/brownie arm in a big hand. He has never made anything like this up before or since this incident, which brings me to believe he wasn't lying. I obviously run downstairs and check everything out but can't see a thing, but once again when I entered the room I had a weird feeling in my body. The way he can describe the arm, from shoulder to fingertips, is freaky, man. DL, doctor, son saw a arm come from the sofa and has never made up anything like it before or after. Heard my dad talking and he wasn't home. Posted by you/Yuri. Sorry if this isn't the right place to post this. My dad's bedroom is right next to mine, so if I walk past I can hear whatever he is doing. Now mind you, I saw his car wasn't in the driveway when I got home. So I was walking into my room and heard him say, "Yeah, she's always doing that." He was saying other stuff, couldn't make it out. My mind didn't even register that he wasn't home. I was about to knock on the door and ask what he wanted for dinner, but I didn't want to bother him. Anyways, I about to get in the shower until I heard the doorbell ring. It was fucking him. I'm like, "Weren't you just in your room on the phone?" He was like, "No, I left an hour ago." It was his voice, clear as day. Sometimes I see like a shadow going into his room when he has the door open. Like 3 months ago I had a dream 2 days in a row that this man was attached, like following him. I don't know if this connected or not. I feel like I might have let something in. I'm always reading about ghosts and demons and rituals and stuff. One time I even got something on me from reading a ritual. So yay, what you guys think about it? I didn't mean for this to be that long. Lol. I saw my father come home before he came home. Posted by you/Chowkitty. This happened roughly in 2017, I think. At the time, my parents were going through a divorce, so my father would come home and head straight into his room. However, on one particular day, he came home earlier than usual, said hi to us, the kids, and headed to the bathroom, with his briefcase and everything. Naturally, my mom and I were confused, but we let it slide. After an hour I urgently needed to pee and was wondering when my father would come out. I went to check the toilet and the door was wide open with no one inside. Confused, I went to check his room and he wasn't there either. Then I heard our house gate swing wide open, and my father announced his arrival for the second time, briefcase in hand and wearing the exact same clothes from when he came home. My mother and I asked why he left so quietly earlier, but he claimed that it was his first time being back home since early in the morning. One of my mother's friends is a spiritual healer and has psychic powers, so we asked her about it. She scanned our house and told us that my father, who came home early, was actually a spirit. After further scanning, she told us that this spirit was my grandfather, who came to protect my father from the divorce that was happening. That night, I had a horrible dream of my father and grandfather, but I won't delve into that. My father doesn't live with us anymore, so I'm not so sure if my grandfather's spirit is still roaming around in our house, or whether he had latched onto my father and moved out with him. This is my first post, so it may be a little janky, frown, sorry about that. Edited. To add on, my mom's friend told us that our house was a portal and that many spirits come here to be elevated or seek shelter. Animals and insects also come to / near my house to pass away peacefully, and I've had multiple paranormal encounters ever since I was 3. Missing sunglasses. Posted by you/Hadith-man. I don't know if this is even the right place to write this, but some crazy shit just happened, like I have no explanation whatsoever. Basically around 4 days ago, I had to run some errands and whatnot, and it was just a regular day. Got up, went to bathroom, breakfast, etc. As I'm getting ready I pick out a black and white hoodie to put on. I dress up, and wear my sunglasses and head to my car. On the way back from wherever I go home I leave my sunglasses on my table and put my hoodie back in the closet and go about my day. The same day, hours later, I'm going out again. But I can't find my sunglasses. I know 100% I left them on my table. So I'm scrambling all over the place, and after 30 minutes I said fuck it, I gotta fight this sun and go without wearing them. I looked thoroughly in my car just in case, but I know I had them on my table, as always. So days go by, and today, as I'm cleaning out my closet, I found my glasses in the pocket of a hoodie I did not wear in 2 months. I froze. I'm so damn shocked. Mind you, this is so weird because 1. I know certainly, I left my sunglasses on my table, in my room 100%. 2. I do have siblings, but they are old and mature enough to know there is no reason to enter my room whatsoever, as I always have my door closed. And 3. Just the fact that they ended up in a hoodie I haven't worn in months and does not even look like the one I had worn the day I went out, is just so creepy to me. I can't come up with any explanation. I wasn't high or off some she, I was sober as one can be, so I'm 100% certain about my actions that day. It's just crazy even more cause 2 days ago, I bought some new glasses just cause I accepted the fact that my old ones were gone. I asked my siblings if they were my glasses but all of them swore they had nothing to do with it / didn't even realize I was looking for them in the first place. And before you may think that I wore that old hoodie in the first place, the hoodie my glasses were found in, is a heavily thick sweater made for winter weather, which is why I haven't touched it in months. And the one I wore is a thin light one. I know 100% I left my glasses on my table, with my car keys, wallet, etc. and somehow it ends up in an old sweater. Someone explain. Not sure if this belongs here? Experiences of mine, posted by you/Biggs. A few stories of mine. I tried posting them to r/paranormal but it got taken down for being not paranormal. I've had my share of seemingly paranormal or unexplained experiences in the past that I've always wanted to share. Sorry for the long post. 1. Gardenias. This story takes place back in high school. I must have been a freshman or sophomore. We had a fairly small backyard that was adjacent to our neighbors with shared fences, very suburban community. My mom is an avid gardener and likes to keep up with her plants and roses. Well, one morning I wake up to my mom very loudly complaining about her roses and gardenias. A few of them had been sheared and cut completely in half, while others were just missing the flowers. Most of the cuts were clean and even so it was hard to tell if it might have been some kind of animal. This happened several more times and eventually it stopped. We never figured out who it was. One night me and a bunch of my buddies have a movie night and watch the LOTR trilogy. We all fall asleep in the main living room which has windows into the backyard. One of my friends said he had seen someone come into my yard late at night, 2 or 3 a.m. That was the last time anything was cut. 2. Grudge. Alright, this happened when I was about 8 to 9 years old? Maybe older. Me and my brother are standing in the garage waiting for the rest of the family to come out. We were all about to head to go see one of the new Star Wars prequel films at the theater. As we're standing there with the garage about halfway open, we hear this very sudden, yet distinct noise come from directly outside the garage, towards these bushes in the driveway. It sounded exactly like the noise that girl from The Grudge makes, that hoo-ah gurgling noise. Without hesitation the two of us ran for the door into the house and I actually shoved him out of the way as we fought to open it. Still no idea what it might have been. My dad says maybe a rabbit? Which I've never heard a rabbit make that sound. 3. Voices. Last story. This happened about 3 to 4 years ago and still creeps me out. I'm staying in my childhood room one summer night as I'm back home from college. My room's on the second floor and I'm laying up on my bed with the window wide open to get some air inside. It was super hot and there's a screen on the other side so no bugs get in. I'm on my laptop and browsing YouTube or doing something, when all of a sudden I hear my name, very distinctly a girl's voice, that says it. I immediately dart up and I'm frozen for like maybe 10 minutes then I close my window shut and the blinds. The next morning I'm telling my parents the same story, and as I'm finishing it my dad's face turns white. He was laying on the couch watching TV that night and fell asleep. He also had the windows open to get air in, and he says he woke up around 2 a.m. to go pee. As he's laying back down on the couch he hears a little girl outside giggling and laughing. As I'm finishing writing this post I just got the biggest rush of chills. Probably cause I'm in the dark on my bed, but if anyone can give me insight I'd appreciate it. Honestly the first experience is the one that freaks me out the most and I'd love some answers. For further context I'm from Southern California originally and grew up in a pretty nice neighborhood, so I'd like to think I could rule out any potential crackheads or weirdos pulling pranks. Anyways thanks in advance. Footsteps on my roof, posted by you/Toasted Peanut. Hi all, I, 21F. Had what I think may have been a paranormal experience last night. So around 2:10 a.m. I went downstairs to make ramen since I was done with an essay I had to do for an assignment, in university year 2. While I was getting a bowl, I heard a loud bang above my head. I thought my parents were awake and something fell in their room so I brushed it off. I was shaken by it but I didn't think much of it after. Suddenly, from the farthest end of the roof from where I was standing in the kitchen, I heard loud noises and banging. I thought it was bats but then it started to move towards me. It was like a literal beeline of loud banging and it stopped right above me. During that I was frantically trying to call my dad on my phone. I was scared shitless. I was shaking, my heart racing, my breath shaky. To describe how it sounded like large heavy footsteps. As if someone was walking on the roof. The thing is, my parents were awake at the same time but they didn't hear anything. My birds who usually get spooked by loud odd sounds didn't react. When it stopped it never started again. My dad came downstairs, asked me if I called and I explained what happened. My parents and I decided to check the cameras around the house to see if there was anything suspicious but nothing showed up. My parents insist it was some animal but I can guarantee you, no animal can jump on the roof and create such a loud sound like that and not be seen on camera. Any thoughts on what it could be? For info on myself, I'm a baby witch, I dabble in tarot, spells, mainly cleansing. My dreams can predict future events but I do have troubling nightmares every now and again and I use crystals mainly to protect myself from any spiritual attacks. Edit, it really didn't sound like the house was settling, it wasn't normal, it was continuous and I've never heard the house settle like that in my life.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.